Smart business owners with a COVID-19 EIDL, this is for you. We're going to talk about the ever-evolving process of repayment of your COVID-19 EIDL. I just want to remind you, during the pandemic, when the CARES Act was passed, it was complete chaos, confusion, dysfunction at the SBA, dysfunction at other government agencies while people tried to figure out dysfunction out there in your business world as you dealt with pandemic lockdowns, employees not showing up, etc. We helped folks get $70 million of approvals, and we kept telling people, we know you want definitive answers to questions, but please keep in mind it's an ever-evolving process. Well, it is the same today, folks. In 2023, as so many loans have already entered the repayment period or are soon to enter the repayment period in the next 12 or 14 months, many people struggle with either setting up their account on the My SBA portal, or worse, if they're facing challenges with their business, they're running into situations where they're in default. Changes of ownership without notifying SBA can make you in default. Failing to file financial statements with SBA can put you in default. And of course, not repaying the loan can put you in default. So let's keep it very simple to help lessen your anxiety and your stress about this process. Number one, it's a loan. It has to be repaid. It is not forgivable. Maybe if Congress wants to change that in the future, they can do so. But right now, and for the foreseeable future, you have to repay the loan. Keep that in mind, even if you are struggling. If you're struggling and you're trying to negotiate with the SBA to work out some hardship accommodation, which they offer, or if you are delinquent so far that you can't get approved for hardship accommodation, whatever the situation is, keep this in mind. And I say this to you as a veteran mortgage banker with 30 years in the mortgage industry. Make a payment. Make any kind of payment. We've heard from folks who worked at the IRS, for people who owed back taxes, the people who made some attempt to make a payment, any kind of payment, got a much more favorable reaction from the IRS. Well, the same is going to be true with the SBA. And so far, we've seen that in the last few months, that SBA representatives are working mightily to accommodate folks who are having challenges. It's a loan that has to be repaid, so make a payment, even if you're in trouble. Now, if you are closing a business, or if your business has closed, there's a whole different process. And we see a lot of folks out there giving away bad information, misinformation, fake expert opinion trolls telling people just walk away from the business. We see also people putting advice out on the internet. This one spoke to that attorney who read the loan agreement and had that opinion, but these two people spoke to those three attorneys who had a completely different opinion about personal liability, personal guarantee, asset seizures. And if you call the SBA, you can't get a straight answer out of them. I've tried. I have a really good relationship with SBA when I call them because I'm a mortgage banker and I introduce myself that way as a colleague. And I get a much more positive response from SBA agents, I think, than a lot of business owners. I know that because I do the calls with the business owners on the line. And even with my very pointed questions, I get vague, ambiguous, non-specific answers from SBA representatives. We've seen situations where our clients have sent in emails about specific situations to the CESC@SBA.gov email address, which is the COVID-19 EIDL Servicing Center, asking for guidance on changing the name of business, a problem with a business where a partner embezzled the funds, a problem where a business is getting an infusion of cash equity from an investor, but the equity agreement says cash cannot be used to pay off long-term debt, but the SBA wants you to pay off the long-term debt. And we see when those emails go in, the response from the SBA representatives is either completely kablooey, making no sense, or is vague, ambiguous, and non-specific. So, my second piece of advice, in the event you've got to interact with the SBA for communications, to make changes to your business, to get answers to questions, my best advice is the process that I used during the pandemic to help people get approved for their loans. Stay the course. Do your best. Make clear communications. Always back it up with an email. Send the email to CESC@SBA.gov, and in the subject line, put your SBA disaster loan number, not the application number, and send in emails. Keep a written record because, again, if you are making payments or you're attempting to make payments and you are communicating with the SBA and you're documenting that, you can't be held to fault, which is going to set you apart, number three, from all of the fake idiots out here in the world who are giving folks like you, decent, smart business people like you, ethical people like you, they're giving you bad advice. Stop listening to them. I've seen some other good, eligible experts on YouTube and on some other forums. They know what they're talking about and they care about doing the right thing. And I've seen them saying the same thing. Be careful of where you're getting advice. If you're dealing with somebody who is not in the industry, somebody who is not like me, who with 30 years in the mortgage business, who assisted thousands of small business owners during the pandemic, or some of the other experts that we've seen on YouTube who are also like me and like my partner Linda Ray, experienced financial services professionals. If you're seeing folks who make comments like, well, my friend's uncle had a loan and this is what he did, or, well, I did this when I called the SBA and I'm a bicycle repair shop. These are not experts. And if you're taking advice from them, you're making a big mistake. Number one, do your best to make a payment. Number two, stay the course. Communicate clearly with the SBA, communicate in writing, and keep going until you get the answer that you need to resolve the issue that you have. And number three, stop taking advice from the knuckleheads. Stay tuned to our channel. There's a lot more information like this coming up and on our playlist. Also, if you like, you can book a 1-hour paid consultation with this brain right here. We don't do free phone calls anymore, but all of that is down in the description. Click on the link. You can also, if you wish, purchase our post-closing blueprint, which is my expert guidebook on everything that you need to know about your COVID-19 EIDL responsibilities, regulations, and restrictions. And if you purchase it now, you get free updates all the way through the end of 2024. And of course, our website has a blog and has other free downloads that you can obtain with information that we've created that is expert and comprehensive advice based on real experiences. Thanks for tuning in.